Doom Executor. I am Judicator Termalis. I have been sent to inform you of the recent loss of contact with the province of Antioch, the once home of Praetor Phoenix. Scouts inform us that a psionic dead zone has been blocking all communication into or out of the province. This field appears to have no ill effect on our troops. However, without adequate communication, it is impossible to determine the status of our forces inside the province itself. Observer patrols report sporadic Zerg sightings in the outlying areas. Your first task will be to reconnoiter the Antioch outlands and subsequently establish a working outpost in the area. If there are indeed Zerg nearby, we must know as soon as possible. We await your report. Doom Executor. It appears as though our suspicions were correct. Our forces in Antioch have been once again overrun by the Zerg. You must lead a detachment of our strongest warriors to free our brethren and liberate the temple located in the heart of the province. Joining you on this mission will be the twin warriors, Korun and Nurok, who have fought side by side, even after a fatal blow forced Nurok to take up residence within the cold shell of a dragoon. Though our resources have been spread thin, it is our belief that you should be able to rout the invading Zerg with a minimum of difficulty. Our scouts will continue to assess the situation in the surrounding areas while you conduct the rescue. Go now, and leave no Zerg to flee elsewhere. I'm afraid I bring bad news. Although your victory has granted our forces a brief reprieve, we still have been unable to determine the source of the psionic tempest field that continues to surround Antioch. And though you are currently our only link to the province, we must, in spite of the risk, turn your attention to a more urgent matter. The Zerg have begun to encroach upon the Temple of Japok, to the south of Antioch, long an important center of psychic attunement for the Templar caste. Contact with Japok was lost a mere 2 days ago, but we are assuming the worst. You will take a small contingent south toward the temple. If our forces there are still intact, aid them in whatever manner you deem fit, and push back the invading Zerg. But protect the temple at all costs. If it were to fall, Antioch would soon follow. See to it that it does not. How can it be? How can it not? Yes, my warrior, it is me. I thought, no matter what you thought, the highest path has led us where few others dare go. We don't need your fight with the Zerg. So be it then. As is made to country time, we have been surrounded for days. From every city the attacks begun to slow, barely allowing us the time to kill. Or curse, lost in the last attack. What is worse, we have felt a deep draining of energies, as if some presence was suppressing our psionic link. We still have much left to do, but with your help, we will push back and obliterate these abominations. Executor, a thought. If we were to fortify the plateau above, near the place, with shield batteries and photon cannons, it might allow us more breathing room. My gratitude to you, Executor. Your rock will continue to stand as a beacon of light for the Templar, thanks to you and your comrades' bravery in the face of encroaching darkness. Enthusiasm is very touching, and we are all extremely pleased to know you are among us once again, Nanoth, Tyradun. But I'm afraid the Executor's business is far from finished. What our scouts tell us is fact, and there will be more than enough coming darkness to keep us all on our guard. Executor, one of our long-range reconnaissance parties has detected a massive cluster of Zerg forces to the west. Scouts reported a weakening of shield energies commensurate with increasing physical proximity to the cluster's heart. The few observers that reached the heart before losing power relayed images of a large cocoon in the center of the hive. We believe this cocoon itself to be the source of the psionic drain. Now, if memory serves, the Terrans dabbled extensively, though crudely, in the harnessing of psychic energies. Before being called back to defend Aya from invasion, our fleets detected a small Terran outpost on the surface of Jar, emitting strong psionic carrier waves. And why has the Conclave ignored this settlement? At the time, other concerns pressed us. Now, however, that outpost may hold the key to countering whatever power the Zerg have been gaining over our forces. Executor, you will lead an expedition to the surface of Jar to pinpoint the location of the Terran settlement. I will be joining you on this mission to oversee your progress. With any luck, we may find some of the answers to this mystery. Corwin and Urok will stay with us at the template to guard it from further attacks. Hold strength, Executor, and may you watch over you. According to the sensor probe, the signal is emanating from the southeast. Of course. Of course.
We got company. White, hold your fire. Looks like we've got company of a different sort for a change.
Identify yourself, human.
Name's Mox. Charlie Mox, commander of the Charstana Reserve. And you would be?
Judicator Termalis of the Protoss High Command. We seek to identify the source of the psychic carrier waves emanating from these coordinates.
Well, if our ESP bores aren't the source of it, you must be talking about the old underground Morian mining and research facility to the southeast, not much more than a stone's throw from here.
I assume the source of the psionic emanations may be found in the installation itself.
Oh, sure. The only reason we haven't checked it out is the swarm is keeping the airlock company. A whole lot of the buggers got the place packed in tighter than a joey in a wallaby's pouch. But if you ever got your hands on whatever it is that's causing those waves, I'm sure our scientists could take a look at it.
Very well, but we will require heavy escort.
Right, well, Gurney here's my second in command. This squad's been through a lot, but he's the best there is. Ain't that right, Gurney?
Cause there's plenty of air.
No worries. So, you up for it, mate?
Agreed. We will hold position here until your forces are ready. I'm up for it.
Yeah, go ahead. Mark's here. Got a smoke, mate?
I see you have constructed this outpost around the remains of an inactive volcano.
Yeah, Mount Midnight, we like to call it. We're tapping the core, using it as a geothermal power source. Makes a great hobby for our scientists, too.
Go ahead, HQ.
No worries.
If I must.
Now that's a bonzer idea. Sounds about right. Alright, let's do it. Sounds about right.
Yep, go ahead, HQ. Let's party.
Now that's a bonzer idea. Now that's a bonzer idea. Sounds about right.
The task is simple, Executor. Find the source of the carrier waves, and if possible, retrieve it from the installation. Commander Marks will join you while the rest of us prepare for your return. Move swiftly, for the Zerg will waste no time in sending reinforcements. Adun be with you.
Did you hear that?
Alright, people. Stay frosty. We've got Zerg in here. We know a bit about this place, so if we can find the security terminals, I can get us where we need to go. Sounds about right.
Unauthorized entry detected.
Alright, let's move it. No worries. Alright, let's move it. What's the story? Alright, let's move it. Now that's a bonzer idea. Sounds about right. Right. Now that's a bonzer idea. No worries.
Let's go!
What's the story? Mark's here. What's the plan? Alright, let's move it. Sounds about right. No worries.
What was that?
Security cameras activated.
Fancy bonds are on here. No worries. Alright, let's move it. No worries. I've got a bad feeling about this.
I'm gone.
What's the story? Sounds about right. I'll be damned. Telepaths on ice. This ain't a mining base. They were gearing up for something big. Ghosts in cold storage. But why the psi emitter? Why lure the Zerg here? Just doesn't fit. Maybe the boys on the hill can make sense of it.
Well done, Executor. Once the Commander's scientists have examined the emitter, we may be able to modify the device to act as a field disruptor, in order that we may counter the Zerg damping field at the source. While you have been working, the Commander's forces have withstood repeated attacks from continually advancing waves of Zerg. Unfortunately, sensors at the base have detected a massive Zerg swarm to dwarf all previous attacks headed for our position. Within a matter of minutes, every escape route will be closed. I have not been idle, however, during your absence. As we speak, 3 shuttles of Protoss warriors and an escort of our fastest scouts, spared from Io's defenses, have already made their way past the enclosing blockade and will be landing at the outpost momentarily. In addition, the still larger fleet assembles even now in high orbit over the planet. We must hold out long enough for our brethren to arrive in force. Return with the emitter to the Terran camp, Executor, and together we will defend it from the Zerg until the time is right.
Strap yourself in, boy.
Alright, we need to buy our scientists some time until the cavalry arrives.
Everybody keep your eyes peeled. Executor, the shuttles have arrived. Instructions. Executor, the fleet has arrived and is ready to escort us back to Iowa.
Perfect timing. Boys in the lab have made some modifications to that psi emitter. You should be able to amplify your own psionic matrix and counter the Zerg psi field you've been talking about. I just hope it's worth all the trouble we've gone to.
We will know when the hour is upon us, Commander. The Conclave thanks you for your assistance.
No problem. Just fry some Zerg for me back home. Good luck.
Executor, the time for action has come. Now that we have the capability to counter the dampening field and remove any and all Zerg presence from our lands, we must establish a stronghold near the very heart of the cluster located to the west of Antioch. It will not be easy to make it all, as the Executor well knows we have little in the way of forces to spare for such an expedition. I beg to differ. We have just received word from the High Command. It seems that the Auriga tribe has managed to rebuild a substantial portion of the fleet, enough to spare for a decisive strike into Zerg territory. The key to mounting this offensive will lie in the establishment of a central command post near the Zerg hive from which we may summon our ships of war. The Zerg defenses are too strong for a fleet to penetrate from the outside, but if the fleet is walked in from inside the cluster, we stand a greater chance of destroying them. The emitter in your possession will allow you to function while inside the Zerg field by amplifying our psionic link. In light of this, however, be advised that only a small contingent of warriors will be able to establish an outpost and remain undetected. To this end, Korun, Nurok, Nanathyrdun, and a small complement of warriors will serve as your personal escort. The emitter itself will be installed in one of our fastest scout ships. Air superiority will be crucial. You must therefore nullify the ability of the Zerg to spawn airborne minions. The emitter will amplify our psionic link just enough to allow the warping in of the fleet, although you will likely still experience an energy drain of some sort. Move with discretion, Executor, for the emitter will eventually betray your position, and your forces will be at their weakest once inside the Eye of the Storm. Set your mind at ease, Communicator. We will do what we must. Was correct. I am even now growing weaker. But no matter. Onward. This appears to be a suitable location. Shogun? Executor, our vindication is at hand. The Zerg Air Force has been scattered, the swarms broken. Now is the time to take final action. We move against the very heart of the Zerg infestation, the central hive cluster which guards the source of their psionic field, the cocoon itself. We are rallying our troops even now as the rest of the fleet arrives. We will need every last warrior and scout that Antioch can spare for this foray, since the Zerg field will render our forces weaker than they have ever been. You speak the truth, Communicator, but alas, I can no longer aid you, since I am growing weaker by the very minute while in the presence of this corrosive force. I fear I will be of little help to you. There is no cause for distress. You have already served the Conclave more than amply. Return to Japok, Brave One, and safeguard the teachings of Adun for generations to follow. You will be of greater use there. So be it, Communicator. May the Kama guide you all to swift victory. Our path is clear, Executor. We only need...
Communicator, we are receiving an incoming transmission.
This is Commander Charlie Mox to Protoss Forces. I repeat, this is Commander Charlie Mox to Protoss Forces. Do you read?
We hear you, human, as well as the urgency in your voice.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing you're gonna hear unless you keep an eye open. I finally figured out what that psi emitter was doing in the old Moria based on Jar. Combine was breeding its own telepaths to wage a psychic war with the Terran Dominion. But that's not the bad part. The bad part is that they were luring the Zerg to that installation around them up for a strike on core hole. Apparently they weren't too pleased with the demands of the old Confederacy for financial reasons. When we brought the emitter topside, it was no wonder the Zergs wanted us.
Curious, I wonder if this Combine has detected the psionic field that the Zerg have been projecting on Aya.
Sorry to burst your bubble, mate, but the Combine created that field. They knew that if they tried to use the Zerg against Arcturus' forces, your boys would just fry all parties involved like you nuked Child Sorrow back when this whole war mess started. All the Combine had to do to distract you was just drop an emitter in the middle of the hives left on your planet and let the Zerg do the rest.
Then it would seem we still have much work ahead of us once Antioch is freed from the Zerg.
Maybe, but you might be interested to know that a Kilmorian detachment is on its way to the heart of the Zerg just right now. I guess they didn't take a shine to having their emitter stolen. Well, anyway, that's the big thing of it.
Our thanks to you, Commander. We realize you have taken a great risk in providing us with this information.
No worries. Hell, it's not like I'm working for them anymore. Anyway, good luck. Moss out.
Executor, we await your orders.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. Fire!
Too easy.
Oh, g'day, mate. Just thought me and the boys would lend you a hand.
Here to, how shall we say, fry some Zerg, are you?
Well, now that the hour is upon us...
I see your point. Welcome to the fray, Commander.
What's the plan? Nothing like pirates on the barbie to whet your appetite.
Executor, the time has come for us to end this psionic storm once and for all. What the hell? Those commies just keep coming back. It appears that the cocoon is psionically regenerating the Zerg structures around it. We must somehow bring the emitter to the cocoon itself if we are to end this.
Awaiting command.
Now that is what I call carnage.
Oh, come on, mate. That was in bad taste, and you know it.
Commander, Executor, the tides have turned. Already our strength is returning. The Zerg that are left here will present little threat to us now. We have succeeded. Entaro Doom, Executor. You will be pleased to know that in the past several days, Antioch has been able to rebuild much of its former glory with the help of its neighboring brethren, and that several of the fleeing Zerg broods have been dealt considerable damage by our newly rejuvenated warriors. While this certainly bodes well for Io, the information that we received from Commander Marks casts an indelible shadow on every moonrise we witness. If these Terrans stand complacent to their imagined ability to control the Zerg, we may very well have another full-scale war on our hands. As for the Commander himself, I believe he has something to show us. In orbit.
G'day, mates. Welcome to New Brisbane Station, my little corner of heaven, now that hell's frozen over. Right now, we're still in the heavy stages of construction.
I see your time has been well spent.
Well, I figure since I'm not going to work for Minsk, and since I sure as hell can't go back to the Combine, I might as well set up shop right here in case you need a favor sometime.
We appreciate your generosity, Commander.
Oh, don't mention it. Feel free to stick around while we get this place up and running. The next load of SCVs should be due in about, 20 minutes, with a dropship full of resources.
This can't be good.
What? What is it?
You're not gonna believe this.